Hello, how are
Happy
you?
Sunday. Amazing. How
Happy
are you?
Sunday to you. Yeah, I'm fine.
Good. It's good to see you. How are you feeling?
Hello.
Oh,
I'm feeling good. I'm
happy
feeling good.
Sunday.
Yeah. I
Amazing.
was thinking about there's someone else? Let me see. I was thinking about these calls that I'm mostly listening to people and
Hmm.
what I think about it because I like to listen, but I don't speak a lot. And well, I thought it's very beautiful that I think there are a lot of people in this group that come to these calls and they have beautiful mission. Um, to create a new world, make the world a better place for a lot of people, for teenagers, um, and gather like-minded people. And I thought it was very interesting and very beautiful, but it didn't. Mm, it still wasn't really my thing. So I thought about that, why it's like that, and well, then I thought about what is my mission, and it's more I'm looking for ways to connect people from different cultures. Um, so yeah, I want to connect people from different cultures so they understand each other better and make the world a better place in that way. Um, but I'm still looking for ways to do that. So that was what I was thinking today because today's my lazy day.
You know what? I'm curious. What is your dream? How do you see that? Where you want to be?
Those are two different questions. Um, my dream is um, that everyone respects another, even though people are different.
So one of the things about respect, it's a funny thing. We actually just have to respect ourselves. So this is
Also,
what all cultures down to their indigenous wisdom actually teach is when we ha know thyself, right? And when we identify with ourselves and understand ourselves, it's easy to look in the mirror and respect another. So, but you
true,
don't need to do that by saying, "Hey, I respect me." You do that by just being reverent to your own nature. So, it's very bringing these cultures together. Uh I'm curious, Elenita, have you spent a lot of time with a lot of different cultures?
yes, yes.
Cool.
I'm yeah, I spend a lot of time with different cultures. I'm multicultural myself, and I spend a lot with different cultures, yes.
Mhm. And what do you think is something that brings the uniqueness of these different cultures together?
Well, what I do now is that I organize dialogues between people in groups,
Mhm.
so they talk to each other on a different level, um, and
What does
feel
that mean?
connection. Yeah. What do you say? Well, if you talk in a group, in a circle, and people talk about experience, like the last week I had a dialogue with a group of people, and we talked about the in the Netherlands. There's a lot of um, well, in media and politics, there's a lot of talk about polarization, and so we talked in a group about what does it mean to be Dutch. And some people were Dutch, but not their parents were not Dutch. And so if you keep talking about that question and really listening to each other, then there grows more understanding between people. And if there's more understanding, then people maybe respect is not the right word. Then they live. They can better live in peace together.
Yeah, so harmonizing different maps of the world or perspectives is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I don't know if harmonizing is the right word, because people can stay different in their own way, but to bring harmony is better. Yes.
Mm.
True. Yeah.
So tell me, I'm curious if you don't mind sharing a little bit more about how you want to bring these different cultures together other than dialogue, or is it just dialogue?
Yeah, for now it's dialogue, so I'm looking for ways to do that in another way. Yeah. For now it still is only bring people together in groups, in circles, and talk to each other. And led by someone, yeah. So some people do it with dinner together, or without dinner, but bringing people together. Yeah.
And what do you do in these experiences through this dialogue? Do you want to share with us here?
What do you mean?
Well, would you like to showcase how you emphasize these different cultures and dialogues, because you have people here from different culture, all of us here from different cultures and have different maps of the world. So maybe you could highlight what you do in real time at these events so that basically we're highlighting your magic and you have an example, or you're being the example.
Well, I think it's difficult to bring people together in a circle and to talk to each other. So I'm still looking for ways to bring people together. I did this dialogues, but bringing people from different cultures together, well, I'm still looking for ways to do that. For now, what I did was just inviting people in my home, and talk to each other.
Beautiful.
And
We're
then
all in
people
your
can
home
bring
right.
other people.
Beautiful. We're all in your home right now. So we're talking with each other, and I'm curious how you would arrange this and what you would do, because we're in your home right now.
Well, then we would sit in a circle,
Okay.
and
So
we
pretend
would
like
talk.
we're all in your living room right now in a circle, and we're organizing. You get to lead us through this all right now.
I think that's difficult to do right now, but it
Why
starts
is
with,
that?
okay,
The
if you
hold
have
on a
like
second.
the main.
The only thing is now. So the only reality is now.
Elenita, the thing is that I want to bring more attention is that you have been doing that already for the whole time.
What do you mean?
Yep. I mean, you're doing it by being yourself, and we are all having a conversation here in circle in your home, as Eric says. So just like to allow that to process yourself.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you are here, then we would sit in a circle, and for instance, we would talk about how can you still see the real human behind the human that you well, the real human behind the human. I don't know if you understand. And then I would ask, what was your experience when you felt? Do you have an experience in your life that you felt really shut out, left out? And then everyone can think about that and tell one experience. And when someone is talking about that experience, then all the other people just listen, and don't react about the experience, and just the other people, everyone, one by one, tell their experience. And then because you cannot react and cannot ask questions about it, you are listening fully to the other person. And you can also, the first reaction that you have, because everybody has first reactions when people are talking. So if you know that, okay, I cannot react, I don't have to ask questions, then your first reaction, you can leave it aside and you can keep listening openly to the person till it's finished, and then just thank him. And then you go in circles till then, for instance, the last question is, okay, what is your dream about how the world would look like if everyone sees the human behind the human? And you also listen to each other. Just because you don't react or ask questions, or maybe only a question to make something more clear, that's when people really start listening. That's something that we normally don't really do.
Do you want to go first? We can't hear you, Sagitas.
I'm curious. What is your experience? How do you experiencing it when it happens? When you see people having these conversations, how does it feel for you? What is your experience?
My experience is that even though people don't know each other, they feel a deep connection to each other, and they feel heard. And I also feel heard. You feel heard and seen.
So you feel heard and seen by experiencing that reality.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do you want to go first, Lenita?
What do you mean? I want to go first?
Well, the example. So right now you get to be the example of what you just described. And I think it would be really valuable if you can express to us by being the example the way that you would do this. So you get to express yourself and we get to actively listen to you. How does that sound?
Yeah, good.
Okay, amazing.
Well, the first question is, do you have an experience that in your life that you really felt left out? When I told you I'm part Dutch and I'm part from the Caribbean, from an island, Curacao. And when I was smaller, we would go to Curacao vacation once every few years, and I don't speak the language. No, when I was younger, I didn't speak the language there, and all the people speak Dutch, but they also have their own language. And my cousins, they would always start speaking. So when we go to the beach with my cousins, one time we went there and we were just talking in a group, and they start talking in Dutch with me. And then because they're so used to talking in their other language, they started talking, the conversation just jumped to the other language. So they were laughing and making jokes, and I didn't understand. So I really felt like this is my family, but still I felt left out because I couldn't understand them, and they didn't want to. No, they didn't. I don't know if they didn't want to, but they didn't. Yeah, they didn't talk in language that I could understand, even though they knew that I didn't. So I felt like they are always together as a family, and well, I'm not. So I'm not really a part of that. So that was one of my experiences that I really felt that I'm not part of the bigger group I wanted to be part of. Thank you. And now everyone who wants to answer this question can answer. Just when you feel like it, you can answer. And then the rest will listen.
Any of the boys want to go next? Hi, guys.
Please, go ahead, Moni.
Okay. It's funny because it actually brought up my moment, which is very similar to yours. Because I first came to the US when I was 11. My parents just basically decided last minute that we're going to move here, and they did not prepare us for this in any way. They didn't teach us any English. So I came to the States not speaking a word of English, nothing. And they put me in an all English speaking school. And I sat there, not understanding anything anyone was saying. I just sat in the back and no one approached me. All the kids played together. They did everything together. I was in 5th grade and I had no friends, no one. So it was very traumatic, actually. And I think 2 weeks into it, one of the girls who, barely spoke Polish, came up to me and said, "Listen, you can be my friend." And that meant everything to me. So that was kind of, and she did speak a few words of Polish, and she was able to help me understand what was going on. I'm shocked how traumatic that was still for me. I'm still like shaking thinking about it. But now I speak English. So, immersion, as Tony says, full immersion. So I speak both languages fluently, and I can teach in both if I want to. And I think that's the learning. But it was definitely, the full immersion was there, and it was harsh. It was harsh. But that was my experience with the language situation. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you for sharing.
You boys better jump in.
Interestingly, it doesn't come up.
Eric, do you have a story?
I have many stories, except I will let the fellows go first.
I'm sure you do.
I feel like for me, what is coming up is I had I've been bullied in the school or in a higher school, and I feel there I had experienced a lot of disconnection, that where I would feel lonely. I wouldn't share to anyone, I guess, in that time. Yeah, so that's what's coming for me. And that whole situation caused, interestingly, quite a lot of anger towards the people that were bullying me. And it all led me, that anger and ego battle within inside of me. So I built a company in Sweden that was growing a lot, and my intention deep inside, I found once in some, I don't remember where, but that I had a deep will of those boys who were bullying me to come and ask for a job, and then I could have a revenge. So that was the whole trigger to create the company, but I had at tops I had 45 employees. Yeah, so I found a lot of gratitude for that in the end. That's why I'm smiling and I'm happy because it's happened for me, even already all the time. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else have an experience in which something that happened in which they felt left out, excluded?
Ross, do you want to share?
Depends how long you've got.
Share as you feel.
Well, I have ADHD, so I feel left out and alone most of my life and most of my time. So yeah. So I think it's kind of something fairly normal that I've kind of got used to be honest. Yeah. I think that's about. I mean, there's lots of situations where I feel especially alone, definitely, for sure. And yeah, I feel yeah. Yeah, I think that's it for me. Thanks.
Well,
Love you,
thank you
brother.
very much.
So for me, like Ross, since I was a little boy, most people around me would say like Ross, I felt alone a lot. But most people, the reason being because most people around me would always say that I have too much energy, or I'm too intense, or I have too big of dreams, or I'm too this and too that. So I said, no. I chose to, it was a conscious decision to say, that's your perspective, not mine. And so I was okay with this aloneness since a very young age. Although it was challenging, it allowed me to discover a part of myself that I didn't know existed. And so you talk about the human behind the human. I like to, consider the spirit or the essence or the wisdom of our heart. And so I started paying a lot of attention to these feelings because of that aloneness. And there's an ancient saying actually in ancient Egypt that, to discover oneself, you actually discover that we're actually always here alone. And so this alone means all one, and allows us to really take or allowed me allowed me to take a huge responsible role in the way that I choose to operate. So something that was consistent, by the way, since I was a little boy. So the consistency of too much, too intense, too TOO is one of my trigger words, I would say. Because it gives me the opportunity to say, okay, well, that person has a limit now, and they're projecting that limit on me, and I don't have any because I'm part of creation, and our creator is infinite. So if I have a small piece of that infiniteness, that by association is infiniteness. Because infinite by infinite equals infinite. So this gave me a lot of grace to start to get more curious about the experiences of my life. Although at a young age, I just kept going in. I kept going in, started asking, what's wrong with me if I'm too intense? What do I need to do better? But it gave me a lot of responsibility of choosing to go within. So from my perspective, it's been happening, and it continues to happen in different areas, but those are now lessons that I choose to operate from versus feeling incongruent or belittled or any of that stuff. Those are just opportunities where I get to vibrate at my natural state and attract the experiences of the people that want to really be around me.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for asking.
And then the next question I have for you is, can you imagine how the world looks like, or maybe your community, or it doesn't matter how small or big you make it, if no one is excluded? How does it look like in images in your head?
Do you want to go first?
The one who wants to start can start. Doesn't matter.
Can you ask the question again?
So, in images in your head, how does the world or your community looks like if nobody is excluded?
As it looks now, to be honest.
Can
Like
you
I don't like I
show
don't,
the image to us?
yeah, the image of non-excludedness, so of inclusivity. Well, how would that it's so natural somehow, like that I cannot put it in the words. I cannot find the words. Is not having the separation in myself about others, and then I'm a part of everything. So I don't feel exclusion within, and there doesn't exist in my reality. And I honestly don't give a fuck if somebody chooses to believe in whatever they want to believe. I'm going my way, and I love everyone, and I don't even start somehow thinking about it. It feels, yeah, it's not present. Yeah, that's the image of the reality. I go, I meet people, I hang out, I go spend time there, go spend time there. I go for people make food. Sometimes I share I just visited my aunt today, and of course she cooks, and we have coffees, and like experiencing it as much as we can, or I can. Being immersed, you said, Monique, immersion. I feel that's the real and important word. It's radical immersion in life. Purpose in front of us, living in the now, being it, and yeah, creating, if that makes sense. Hanging out with people, talking, yeah. Like, right, that's what I'm experiencing here as well. There is a full-on inclusion here. There's like I don't know, but yeah. So yeah, that's my take.
Thank you. I have to say, I have a very clear vision of what my community looks like. Definitely, you are all in it. I already see you there. And
Hey neighbor, do you have a sugar?
That's right. No, I don't use sugar, but I have honey.
Don't start calling me neighbor here now. We're living together.
So I actually have such a clear picture that I've recorded myself in my own voice, describing this community to myself, and I listen to it every night because I know that it will bring it to fruition even faster. And my community is just what I think Nick and Chris and Rehan described to you guys when we were talking, because Nick and I had a very similar vision of it. So I think we're very motivated to make it happen. And then when I watched Eric, your video when you were in where were you on the island of? You were in the Spanish island, right? What?
Ibiza.
Where? Ibiza. That's right. Ibiza, which I know well, and I don't know why it escaped me right now. When you were in Ibiza, I heard when you were there on the land, and I heard so much passion and so much joy in your words, and you were so excited to build this community, and people didn't answer the call as you would want it. So we have to revamp it and do it again, and just reshift, refocus, and do it again. So my vision is this. Somewhere in a beautiful, very lush area of greenery, these individual pods where people would be able to be alone, because I feel like most healing and most growth happens when you're alone. I was very scared to be alone for many, many years, and I hated being alone. I wanted always to have people around me. And only in my 40s, I found absolute solace, and most growth happened when I was allowing myself to be alone. And then it shifted from feeling alone to from feeling lonely to feeling fully with myself. So I no longer feel lonely when I'm by myself. I feel absolutely elated when I'm by myself. I love the time when I have with myself, because I guess I really love myself. So that came to a place where I feel super comfortable with being just with me. So those are the colorful pods. Each is a different color. So I'm going to live in an orange one, but you can choose sharp.
I love it. So
you're gonna live in a chartreuse one, Zagidas, because that seems to be your color. Chartreuse. It's like happy green.
Happy green. Okay, I take it.
Yeah. And we all have our own pods where we can be with ourselves, and we don't feel that we have to be social, and we can just be with us. And then there is the community center in the middle of all this, where we go to be in community, where we go to learn from others, to support others, to help others feel a part of something bigger than themselves. It's a place where people come to heal from trauma, but also come to learn, come to learn how to be healers themselves and coaches, and then they can go into the world and help the world be a better place. So that's kind of my vision. And like I said, there have to be palm trees, and it has to be in a warm place, in my view. I don't want, even though right now I'm in the Poconos, as you can see, there's snow behind me. And I even built a snowman yesterday by myself.
Cool.
So it was fun. That was fun. I had a snowman building fun all by myself, and it was great. So that is my I have such a clear vision of it that I can feel it. I can taste it. I'm there. We're growing our own food. We're creating our own energy. Eric, Seguidas.
Is there a parking for rockets to land?
That's something that you're gonna have to bring on, because you're all open. You're all welcome to build onto that dream. So you can add the rocket launching pad anytime. So that's my very wishful, hopeful place where I know I will end up one day.
Cool. Let's go. If the rocket, we can if we can park rockets over there, I love it even more.
And it will not be in the middle of a desert.
I actually see the vision of that launching pad being in the middle of nowhere for rockets. Like boom. And
it's not going to be in the middle of a desert with all this freaking dust. It's not happening. I'm not making it in the middle of the desert.
No. We're gonna have palm trees. That's non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. Palm trees and green, lush gardens. That's non-negotiable.
Ooh, mango in the garden.
So, what?
Mangoes,
Yeah, mangroves.
avocado.
Sure. By all means. Just I can't handle the dust for longer than a week during Burning Man.
Okay. That's the maximum.
You have a beautiful vision, Monica.
Oh, thank you, Lenita. I hope you come.
I see a lot of colors in your vision also.
A lot of colors.
Yeah. My vision of my community here is that when you walk in the street, that everyone says good morning or good afternoon. You don't pass by other people without saying anything. That there are no separate gardens. That people live in their own houses, but still, if they go outside, that they see each other and they just live together outside. They don't have to do things together, but they live in peace next to each other and greet each other. And that if anyone needs help in one way or another, that nobody is afraid to ask it, and that there is always help available, and that everyone has the belief and the conviction that everyone is one, and that everyone is living together and apart, but that there are always people around you to help you, and that you are always helping other and feeling fulfilled together, because everyone is one energy. So everyone can be different and live their own lives and still be together. So I see streets with beautiful weather, of course, and people walking around always with big smiles and just greeting each other and being nice to one another and helpful. So that's my picture in my head.
I see Burning Man when you share, Lenita. Have you been to Burning Man?
See what?
I see Burning Man. Yeah, but that's what Monica was saying. She can handle only 1 week of dust. But yeah, that reality is definitely exists sometime.
It exists, but only for a week. Oh, yeah,
Well,
about 8
couple
days.
months, I guess.
Right.
Depends.
True.
Yeah.
But it's if we can make it, a full 365, that would be a true community. Agreed.
Well, it doesn't. It's like the idea is that everyone gets to dream their dream, and then if Eric also wants to share his vision, his dream about how the world would look like, then we can move on to the last question.
So for me, I think it's important for us to see the planet as a playground. And the more of us can tap into this level of innocence, the more of us can start to recognize that, it's really just a big playground. And we can then actually have more of this playfulness and utilize the ecosystems and the infrastructures to a benefit that will create the benevolence and the abundance that's available within us all already. And so we've already come here knowing that this place is a playground, but most people have been conditioned to go back into their mind and die versus staying attached and connected to their spirit, soul, and heart's intention, and actually be present to what's available to them. So the lighthouse of our planet, which is the ultimate lighthouse, because we all have light, we're all light beings, needs to be, from my perspective, continued on so that we can anchor in this philosophy into the infrastructure, the community developments, and fundamentally the systems of exchange like money and economics, so that there's a value in the people first versus the value in something outside of the people, because the true value is a human being's existence. And so when we start recognizing that we play together, we can then see, this home, that we are of her, that we don't own her, we are of her. And when we are of her, we can start taking a lot more better care of her as a family. And this is what I see, and this is what we can do, and how we can harmonize it all by coming together closely and with intention. One of the houses that I lived on, Monica, in Brazil, we just had a meeting the other day. We're gonna probably go back here. Sigitas was here at one of our first experiences. This was my home in Brazil. And it's funny that you're bringing, the palm trees together. This is where we really spent a lot of time. This was
Wow.
a lot of the community development that we created there. So some of the youth that has been helping us put this together, they really love this. Some of Brenda, who was my support on the ground, has connected back to the people that are now living there, and they have opened up the space for April to really bring this program to life. So we're going to be doing it at the end of April, and for probably around 30 people, global leaders that want to really step into a coherent way of working together in harmony and taking responsibility for what we must create as a family here on the planet. So I invite you, if you want to be part of those calls, to let me know, and I can connect you with Mo, who is organizing them all. And I think it would be valuable for you and her to put your hearts together, because we need more people if we're going to be going bigger and doing more of these things. So something I invite.
So is that the kind of community that you see yourself being a part of in the future? Is that where they're growing?
I'm already a part of the community all over the world. So I've been traveling the planet for 8 years and building these relationships all over the world. So I'm already part of this community all over the world, and I continue to be, and which is why we're anchoring a lot of different experiences. So
Okay. So your mission is to build these communities all over the world. This is just one of many.
yeah, so I mean, we talked about it, I think, once before. It's the light bulbs. However, each light bulb lights up the planet. So each light bulb is part of one community. So, the other day I had a meeting with a lady in Brisbane in Australia, who knows me very well when I lived in Australia, in Fiji, in Brazil, in Bali. I know people all over the planet. But these are the light bulbs that I get to light up alongside meaningful people, and we do this one at a time together and grow it with intention, but with meaningful leaders that are willing to, as a result of these experiences, integrate on the ground as well.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That's great. I mean, you know, to add a little bit onto the very quickly before our last question, Elenita, to add on to what you were saying, the community that I envision is kind of like a hub, and then they are just duplicated all over the world, where, you know, all the other communities can come and learn from us, and they can create similar communities anywhere they want to. And I see myself, you know, I see myself traveling and teaching. That's definitely my calling, traveling and teaching, and maybe being that person who can come and help them set it up. But my passion is definitely to teach about physiology meets energy. That's kind of my, you know, how do you take care of your body in the optimal way to allow for your light to shine bright. So that's kind of where my expertise comes in, I think. I'm still honing in on exactly what that means, but but yes. So that would be kind of my vision, my larger vision. And I'm very, very grateful for connecting me with Mo. I'm happy to have that conversation, of course.
Awesome.
What's our last question, Elenita? I'm scared. Don't make me cry again.
No, I'm not going to make you cry. No.
I'm joking.
Well, I know
Crying
that
is good.
you're already very active in creating a better world. But the last question is like the action question. So what is something that you don't do yet that you can do extra to create that dream world that you just described?
Mm. Oh, Zagitas, we can't hear you. Are you speaking to us?
What was the question again?
So what is something, an action you can take that you haven't taken so far, to 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 help create that dream worlds that you just described?
Hmm.
Seems like it's already taken all the actions until now needed. And the next one will, what I'm getting, the next will show up when it's gonna show up. So I'm okay. So yeah.
Yeah. A lot of actions are being taken for sure. I think, you know, what we're even creating here and the other communities that I'm involved in, um, all of us are taking massive action, which is really beautiful to see. I think for me personally, I think I have to really solidify my public speaking engagements and get very clear on what I want to teach, and where. I already know basically my audiences, but to bring the youth more into this vision of mine, because I truly believe that they are the ones that need to be tapped into. So it's beautiful to see my peers, people, you know, within my age groups doing this beautiful work. But if we can bring the teens into our work, I think that would be the one area that I would like to see more action in from me.
I was thinking at first, because I see it somewhat smaller than you do. So at first I was thinking, well, last night we had a birthday in our house for my son, and we had a lot of food left, a lot of food, because I miscalculated. So we had a lot of food, too much. So I was about to put everything in the freezer. But now I'm thinking I'm not going to put it in the freezer. I'm going to bring it to the, how do you say that
Soup
in
kitchen.
English?
Soup
The soup
kitchen.
kitchen, yes. Yes, I'm going to bring it there tomorrow. And then I was thinking more about this, and then I was thinking, well, and I'm still going to think about I have to approach it in a bigger way and don't keep it so small, and think about how I can take action on a larger scale. I don't know if you understand what I mean, but yeah, I'm going to think about that. That's going to be my action also.
Yeah, but what you said actually inspires me to also do things on a smaller scale, because that's where it all begins, right? That's where change happens, is on one on these smaller interactions. So I think I have my mind often sees everything so big, but I think it's important to also, I have a soup kitchen very close to my house, and so many times I thought I was going to go and volunteer there, and I never did. So there you go. You just inspired me to do that.
And you inspired me to dream bigger.
So for me, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
I basically from the moment that I wake up to the moment that I fall asleep, I'm constantly focused on this. So everything for me is already happening, and I just continue to have faith and surrender, which is for me right now, I think the biggest thing is surrendering, because the action part of what I do is already been happening for years on a global standard. And so I just choose to trust that every seed that I've planted now continues to come to me in a way that is aligned with ease and grace, because I no longer feel the need for me to have to do anymore. I'm in a different place, and it's time for me to welcome and receive.
Thank you all.
It's a really great exercise, Elenita. Appreciate it.
And a blessing. What's the time? Are we?
Yeah, maybe I'll say a quick prayer for us all.
Sure.
Or grace.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
invite you all to close your eyes, taking a deep breath through the nose, and really just tap into the feeling of the heart, the integrity of the heart, the wisdom of the heart, feeling the benevolence of our heart's integrity in the way that it chooses to show up with grace, with certainty, with a knowing that allows us to cultivate our most genuine intentions, and so that we can continue to navigate our experiences with a place of grace, with reverence, and recognize one another. May our great teacher and our great creator continue to bring harmony to the places that we choose to operate in. May we continue to shine bright without apology and express ourselves with absolute level of devotion so that we can continue to cultivate a more meaningful community looking towards highlighting and lighting up this beautiful planet we call home. And may we continue to do it with fun, playfulness, innocence, and ease so that we can continue to dance in our bodies with fulfillment so that more people are excited to come and join us. No. Thank you, everybody, for your time and presence today.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you all. Have a beautiful one. Big love.